Well, Dan, as you know, I've just got my boat licence, and the next thing that I know that I really need to get is my VHF radio licence. So
you don't have a licence, obviously?
No, I'm booked in a couple of weeks, but I thought you could just give me a quick run through of what I should expect.
Okay, well, look, it's very important with the VHF radios that the actual operator is licensed. The radio is not licensed, but the operator must be licensed.
Sure.
Okay? So you would go and do a course, and look, there's lots of courses around at the moment. So go and do a course on VHF. There are various radios around that we use on boats. We use VHF radios, we use 27 meg radios, we use HF radios. It gets very, very confusing, but I prefer to use VHF.
Well, that's good because that's the one I'm booked in to do.
It is. Okay, look, VHF radios, it's more a commercial application. It's a very clean unit, so you don't get a lot of static and so on. You don't get a lot of people getting on there and being silly, right? And also at the moment, right around Victoria, we have repeater stations. So you can make a call, say in Portland, and it can be picked up anywhere in Melbourne. So it's great. Now, this is the VHF radio that we have on board here. Okay, and there are various channels that we use on VHF, but the most important one is what we call distress and calling, and that's channel 16.
Oh, and does that work everywhere around Victoria?
Everywhere around Victoria, around Australia. It is the international distress, so you can use it in Canada if you wanted to. So distress and calling, channel 16. The next channel that we would go to, say, if you called on channel 16, but you shouldn't stay on there because it's there for that reason, for distress and calling. So what you do, you might go to channel 67. Channel 67
what does that do?
Well, channel 67 is more a less serious type of channel, but you can get the weather reports on that, you can talk on that for a little while, and then on that, from there you would go to channel 73. And channel 73 you can talk to your friend and say, well look, I'm down here. You can also organise to go onto another channel. There's a lot of channels on VHF.
But wouldn't channel 73 just be a whole lot of noise with people talking to each other?
Well, there is, but there's radio etiquette, and this is what they will teach you at your radio course, that whilst there is a transmission in progress, you don't cut over the top of them. Also, channel 16 and VHF is used by most of the commercial operators here in Port Phillip and right across Australia, in Brisbane, Darwin, the whole place. They will use channel 16, they will use channel 12, they will use channel 13, 14. And it's more a commercial radio. But by saying that, it's also a very good radio because it's not cluttered by lots of people over the top. So once again, radio etiquette, whilst there's somebody talking, don't jump over the top of them, just wait till they're finished and then do your call, right? And then you can, and then as I said, you can go to different channels. And
I had another question, Den. While I'm just still really learning how to drive a boat, I'm going to stay fairly close to the shore, so I'm not expecting to go out further than 2 nautical miles. But when I become more confident and decide to go further out, does the VHF, where does that go? How far can I go out before it cuts out?
Look, VHF rule of thumb basically is VHF is line of sight. They say line of sight. But, you know, VHF also will go a little bit further than that. It's very hard to say it will go 10 miles. But this is the beauty of the system that we have down here in Victoria at the moment, where we've got these repeater stations. So you could be, say, maybe 8 or 9 miles out, or even 10 miles out, and somebody somewhere along the coast will pick up that transmission, and it can be relayed to the main stations, which are at Point Lonsdale, and also back in Melbourne.
And are they 24 hours?
They are. They're 24/7. The repeater stations aren't 24/7, but the main radio stations are.
Oh, okay.
And they're called VTS, which is Vessel Traffic Service. These days, so it's VTS Lonsdale and VTS Melbourne.
Okay, so, and I'm sure the repeater stations are Australia-wide?
They are. They go all the way around the coast, so really you could travel from here right up to Cairns and you've got radio contact. And as I said, VHF is the way to go, and it's nice and clean. I call it a nice clean station.
Yeah, and if you were to buy a new boat, obviously that would come with your boat too.
Well, not necessarily. Sometimes they would give you a what we call 27 megahertz.
Okay.
But if you specify that you want VHF, they'll give you VHF. You've got an aerial up there, and get somebody professional put it in for you. And go and do the course. Go and do the course.
Yes,
get the
I'm booked
license. It's very easy.
In 2 weeks' time.
You'll be able to do
there.
all the phonetic alphabet and Alpha, Bravo, Charlies, and whatever. It'll be great.
Looking forward to it.
No worries. Good on you.